So that's my top three cathedrals of all time there, Bill. I'm not sure if you've been in any of those.
I haven't been to all three of them, and I actually kind of really disagree. I don't think you have very good cathedral taste. Like,
Well, they weren't for worship services. They were more for just like, touristy stuff. Now, I think if I had religious services, I would have gotten the full effect of it all.
I mean, even even like what is it? Like religious services versus the fucking like touristy bit. I think you can do better. Like, I know you know a lot about metal, but do you know that much about cathedral?
Bill, we can all do better. Speaking of doing better,
Jesus.
we have Sam with us today. Sam, how are you
Hello.
doing? What's your take on what's your best cathedral you've ever been in?
Top five cathedrals.
Man. The top cathedral. I mean, I have to say it's pretty expected, but one of the most overwhelming is the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. It does deserve the hype. Definitely. It has a great array of stained glass. Acoustics are fantastic, and there's a lot of gold stuff in it. So no hunchback that I saw though.
My wife's got an odd story about that one where she went with her mother and her mother's a photographer, and this is before they put all the safety features in, we'll say. And her mom wanted this photograph and was basically leaning out of the window, out of one of the windows on the higher floors to get a photograph, and my wife had to hold her mom by the ankles.
Oh my god!
Oh, God. Yeah, why didn't you mention Notre Dame in your favorites, John? Come on.
Well, I hadn't been.
Oh, okay.
I'm only going by first-hand experiences, so I don't like to prejudge things, and it also builds up the expectations of it. So I was just talking about ones I've been to, but as that was the. I'm sorry. Is this? Oh, we're on More Than Metal now. This is More Than Metal podcast.
Oh, right. That's what we're doing.
Right. That was the last podcast we were doing called Can Do Cathedrals. That's a trademark. I'll put that on a T-shirt.
Yep.
But we have our guest Sam here, who is in a project. Are you in the project? Are you the project? How would you describe your relation to Bara Hari?
I am the project.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I started it all by myself.
It's
not just me now though. So
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do have a kind of a revolving door of other players, but my constant is my partner Ian Flux of the band Fact Pattern.
Fact Pattern.
Awesome.
Yeah, who's my co-producer now, and he basically anytime there's like guitar or bass or anything, it's him.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, and we were talking about how Bill and I were talking about how we enjoyed the last album, Lesser Gods.
Oh,
that was one of my favorite albums of 2023. And I've gotten many metalheads converted to your ways. But that'll lead us into our topic today, which we'll talk about after the credits here, of looking at costuming in music, specifically metal and hard rock, but kind of the history of that, and then also ways to approach that. Because as you said, you're doing a DIY, do it yourself here, Sam, with Bara Hari. I mean, you have these really, really impressive videos with costuming, and from what I understand, is it all the costuming, most of the costuming yourself? What's the percentage there?
I say like 90%.
90% of it?
Like if it's anything that I didn't make, it's usually from like an antique store or something secondhand or a gift that someone gave me. But yeah, anything that is custom made, I made it.
So we're hoping to delve kind of into the approaches to that and thinking about some of our favorites from the past and taking a look at that today. So that's what we're doing here today on More Than Metal. I had to try to remember the name of the podcast because we're on so many. The Cathedral one's really taking all my time now.
Yeah, that one just took up too much brain space.
It really did.
We got like 5 of them going at once. We record for like 7 hours a day.
Yes, I keep Bill locked in a recording studio. That's it's very, very fun. But
okay, he takes good care of me though. Like it's fine.
There's a food slot.
Sometimes I get my outdoor time, which is
nice.
Those are the good days.
Yeah, there's a food slot. No, he eats mostly disc-shaped food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's all giant. It's all discs of various size.
Yeah,
because it fits the slot.
Yeah, my highlight was when you actually made a chocolate vinyl, but that was all I had to eat for a week. So there's
that won't happen again.
Lining. So just a bunch of crepes, pancakes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pancakes, crepes.
Loaves of bread with no leavening in them.
Yeah, it's not thick enough for a pot pie or anything like that too. So, but the preventing of him consuming protein is how I keep the mind control going.
Exactly.
All right,
Keep them feeble.
we're gonna run the credits here. We'll be right back with more than metal. Bill, what are you listening to?
Yes. Currently, I've been revisiting an old fave.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Black Sunday, Cypress Hill. One of
Oh,
the kind of
yeah, okay.
I love that. I kind of grew up with that album. That album and Wu-Tang Forever were two of them that I really kind of like listened to a lot, at least in terms of hip hop.
Yeah.
But I love Black Sunday. It's so good. There's one song, I forgot which one it is. It's I forgot which one. But it just has such a gothic vibe. And I don't know, like, they've always kind of had an edgy vibe, but Black Sunday had such like kind of like almost metal vibe, like at least in terms of like, what is it, like perceived style, right? At least the cover itself is a graveyard.
It's a very gothic cover.
Oh yeah.
If you put that cover in front of me and didn't have Cypress Hill in there, I'd be like, what black metal?
Yeah.
What goth band is this? Like,
what Scandinavian country does this?
Yeah. Who's
yeah.
No, that's really interesting. Especially because some of the members of that were like in Prophets of Rage.
Yes, Prophets of Rage, I love
and everything. And but that is an interesting album because that's when they were coming off the first album being very gangster. Was literally gangster rap. But
it was gangster rap.
It's a violent album. But then they kind of like, we're not really into that. So like, we're gonna have.
Let's
fun.
just smoke some weed and talk about being dead and stuff.
And talk about living.
Lick a Shot is the one. That's
one of the great. That's actually really cool that we're talking about that because like that's an LA artist and we actually have an LA artist here.
Yes, we do.
One Bara Hari. See, that's called the segue.
Oh wait, I have to talk about myself.
Oh, you talk about what are you listening to? What you been listening to lately?
So one of my favorite artists that just released a 8-minute song, and I wish it was 25 minutes long, is Ethel Cain.
Oh, okay.
I'm such a huge fan of Ethel Cain. So I've been listening to her last single, Nettles, like I swear on loop for days now. And then I've always been into Imogen Heap, but like for some reason I'm just like coming back to that right now. And then also medieval music. Like my special interest runs deep and I love listening to medieval music. So that's usually what's on the rotation the last couple weeks.
That's a good rotation.
That was a good rotation.
I love that.
The vibes are strong.
You practiced.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like the key to good musicianship or like being really like open is just being open to experiences of different music. And that's one thing we're hoping to do with this podcast. Sorry to get to the real here for a second, but it's to like get people thinking more about like what else is out there besides being so focused on a genre that they're, this myopic view of it and the like. But I was listening to we'll go back to metal. I've been listening to the new Bloody Valkyria.
Oh,
that's like the most like metal name I can say is Bloody Valkyria. Like, they have a new album out called "In Our Home Across the Fog," and this is a band that's kind of trippy. There's this combination of like power metal and black metal with like epic metal. And the new album, as I found out, because I don't play the game, is like very Elden Ring themed.
Yeah, I was about to say that's just Elden Ring.
I'm not
literally
into
say that
Elden
in the
Ring.
intro.
Yeah, it's Elden Ring metal. The first album wasn't. It's much more. It was called Kingdom and Fire that came out last year actually, but the new one just came out. It's really good. Like it's weird because it's hard to talk about like doing power metal and black metal simultaneously, but they pull it off nicely. And I kind of like that. I have a lot of respect for that too. So. But yeah, I got that one from Northern Silence Productions, so got that out from overseas, and that one just came in. Been listening to that a bit here. Oh yeah, it's been a good year. Actually, I gotta say, 2025 has been a really good year for music so far.
Oh yeah,
I think we're feeling it pretty good here and such. But yeah, if you look at the cover, it's completely this very Elden Ring cover.
This is just Elden Ring.
It is.
This is just Elden Ring. I love it.
there is a whole section of like Dark Souls and Elden Ring metal out there. I will be happy to point you to a variety of it should you want me to, Bill, at a later
Please, I've
date.
been playing those games for like a decade now, at least. Oh my god,
Okay.
that's
I'm sorry.
my wheelhouse.
Okay, no, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's something we can talk about later on. But you know, the cover sets the vibe, and much how covers set the vibe for albums and artists, so does the costuming that people chose. Today we're talking about the kind of costuming that like artists choose for themselves in terms of like being on an album cover, being in a music video, being in promotional shots, and even touring. These are all very different kind of places to, you know, basically wear stuff. It's one thing to put something on; it's another thing to be like, "Hi, I'm going to go out and sing for 90 minutes in this."
Yeah.
Sam is like kind of smiling, laughing, kind of nervously, but oh yeah, I know. It is a very different thing, and this conversation actually came about for a few different reasons. One, it's Ren Fair season, and for those who don't know, I enjoy dressing up like a wizard and going to Ren fairs and having a lot of fun. I know both my co-host here, Bill, and then Sam has gotten some really impressive cosplay or some kind of, I don't say cosplay, but Ren Fair gear, if you will. You've been making and even showing off how you're making it and such. And that's kind of a thing that's really cool about you is you're not just like an artist, like in terms of like music artist, you're also like a costumer, which is an artist as well. You're an artist of broad range. And I think it's really interesting we're hoping to get today is kind of like, what's the process like for that? Like, what are you trying to do when you do costuming? And like, what are some like, you know, classic costumes that we can think of through the history of music that would kind of set us in the tone and what does it do for us? So, Sam, what's the point of that you would like to start the conversation today with?
Oh wow, that's a loaded question. So I guess I would actually consider myself a seamstress slash costumer first before a musician.
Interesting.
I've been doing it for a lot longer, and it's definitely something that runs in my family. My mom is the one who not like directly taught me how to sew, but I begged her to make me all sorts of stuff when I was younger. So, you know, being around it all the time, seeing how garments were constructed, and as well as my great aunt on her side, basically her entire livelihood came from making wedding dresses. It's kind of like in my family. I don't know a single musician in either side of my family, which is really weird. But I guess I'm just like a glutton for like different mediums. So I started my project in 2017, technically. So I guess costuming to me is really important because all of my favorite musicians have had a very like specific look, and I feel like especially the types of artists that are storytellers or world builders, that's like very imperative to the entire experience. You know, like there are certain bands that feel comfortable going on stage in a jeans and cut off or whatever.
We call those death metal musicians, but go on.
Yeah, basically, right? Or like industrial bands or something. But yeah, so like I knew from the start that was not the direction that I wanted to head. I wanted it to be a kind of like multimedia, all-inclusive, like this is the spectrum of my creativity, and now I'm just going to add a soundtrack to it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a hell of an approach. So create the aesthetic and then bring in like kind of what does that sound like? Is this the sound you want people to hear, or is this a sound in your head? Or how you see it in your head?
So I feel like I'm constantly like chasing the ideal like thing that I want to sound like or whatever, but in the process, you know, whatever comes out is whatever needs to come out at that certain time. So in the future, I am looking forward to writing more storytelling types of things from maybe other people's point of view or from like folklore perspective or whatever. But you know, can
I interject there real quick? I have a quick comment. I feel like your music does have a story, and a lot of it is like, don't take shit from people.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't want to tell you what you mean, but I'm like, I listen to a lot of these songs, and a lot of them are about like, you know, I got a lot of shit from this person. Fuck them.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, there's this quote from Fiona Apple that was something like, I only feel compelled to write when I'm angry because I feel like that's the only time I reach for the pen. And so I feel the same way. Like I'm not always angry. It just seems to be the fuel that makes me like absolutely need to get that down in a song format or whatever.
It isn't. The thing is, the anger is just kind of like the spark of it. At least this is my take. Sorry for me being I'm being a fanboy here a little bit.
I would like to hear your perspective.
It's not just about being this anger, the kind of thing about like fuck the people, or whatever. But it's about being triumphant in the future over that, being like trying to triumph over that past thing and trying to rise up. I feel is a major theme I hear a lot of, and I think that like you want to you have you're a little scorned by someone. What do? Well, you go back out there and you look good by wearing a great outfit.
Yeah, there is nothing better to get back at someone by looking good. Like it's just kind of how it works.
Sounding good and making a powerful song about them.
And that actually is interesting because I find your music very powerful. It's heavy. Like you have some heavy songs. They're not like it's not heavy metal, but it's heavy. Mm-hmm. You use a lot of these like really deep tones, which I think is why I like it. I think that helps me kind of get into it. And it is pop, like it's poppy, but it's like this heavy pop, and I dig that a lot. You throw some guitars in there, you throw some great synth work, some solid drums. There's some great bridges in it too. Thank
you. I appreciate that so much. I feel like bridges are a lost art these days in a lot of pop music. So
not for you. It's very clearly
trying.
there.
I love bridges. It's more it's like you're on this ride and all of a sudden you sharp left, and that's the most exciting. When a bridge is good, that's my favorite part of the song.
100%.
I agree.
Yeah. So
you'll hear my consistent critique of like when I tend not to like a music or musician or something like that, or some sort of music piece. And Bill's caught onto this is like I'll describe it as feeling flat.
Yes.
It feels very like it just feels like I'm riding the same pace, and it feels very safe. And that's one thing I like about your music is that I'm not saying I don't feel safe like listening to I feel like I'm threatened by Bara Hari here, but like I feel like there's like some risk. There's like risk involved, like and I like that element to it, and I have a lot of respect for that. So
the first producer I ever worked with, I don't speak to anymore because he turned out to be a creep. Wow, surprise, surprise.
What?
But, I'll never forget. He was like helping me work on this song that has since been scrubbed completely off of the internet. And he kept like making comments about how he didn't like my choice of harmonies. And at that point, he wanted me to go with like the really safe choices. Whatever. And then it's funny because one of the biggest compliments I usually get is that they like my choice of harmony. So I guess fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
No, I mean your life has gone well because you're on this podcast.
Right. Yeah.
What led you here right
life
now.
Fulfilled.
The pinnacle.
Very awesome. So why don't we I want to delve a bit more into your work, but I'd like to off the bat talk about some like inspiration or like maybe like costuming you've seen or other artists that we would kind of know about or could point to where you're like that's really cool and how they did that. And this could be costuming either for like an album cover, promo shots, or even touring, performing. These are all very different things. Is there any kind of like ones, Sam, that really like stick out to you or like kind of you come back to a lot?
Oh yeah. My absolute top is Florence and the Machine. She's basically like everything I like. She's perfection, like the whole project, the vocal, everything. It's just what I aspire to.
What is it about her costuming though? Then like, what is it like? What does she do? I'm not as familiar with the band, like so I really can't speak to it. But I'm looking at some pictures.
You can tell that she's very influenced by Stevie Nicks.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and then Stevie Nicks, like, I feel like there's too much pressure on the modern pop star to be able to dance while performing, which I think is like absolute bullshit.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because like when these people are dancing their heart out, they're not singing, they're lip syncing. So it's like, which one? Pick one. Which one's more important?
I had a friend who was in like punk bands and shit. And people were like bitching at him, like, why don't you jump around like all the other punk bands and be crazy on stage? And he's like, motherfucker, because I actually play my instruments. This is a hard thing to rip to play.
Absolutely. So I think so Stevie Nicks was famous for her twirling, right? And so she would wear a lot of very flowy layers that emphasize that movement. And to me, that's very, very reminiscent of like say folkloric dancers or something, where there's not too many crazy like movements that you're doing, but it looks very graceful and floaty and beautiful with the garments that you're wearing, because they're made to catch the air and twirl and all of this stuff. So Stevie Nicks knew to lean into that, and she wore very floaty garments that made her look very ethereal while she's twirling around on stage and singing her heart out. And Florence Welch does basically the same thing, with a different style of garment. She incorporates a lot of like sheer layers, very huge sleeves, very like Shakespearean / Victorian ghost look to her. Yeah, so underneath the lights and with the types of movements that she does, everything just like jumps at you because there's so much fabric, and but at the same time the choice of material makes it look very ethereal and haunting. So
I love that
I don't know,
haunting vibe that she
it's
has.
very
It's
haunting.
so good.
Yeah.
What's interesting to me there is you mentioned like Shakespearean, and like when I first saw pictures of Florence the Machine looking at the costuming, the first thing that popped in my head was that Malay painting of Ophelia.
Yes,
in the river.
she's a very pre-Raphaelite looking beauty.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's just like it's this perfect combination of like delicate femininity, but also like fierce,
Don't fuck with
it's
me
kind of
energy.
scary. Right. Yeah. So it's like it's perfect. It's just beautiful and soft, but also extremely terrifying. So I guess that answers that. But lately there's also like on the flip side of that, that's kind of like the complete opposite side of the spectrum. I very much love Chapel Roan's look.
Yes.
It's very theatrical. It's drag influence. The makeup is very reminiscent of like opera, like old opera.
Oh yeah, hugely.
You're meant to see that makeup from far away. And just like how she's inspired by bygone eras, but makes it very like bold and new for today's audiences. I don't know. I really am into that kind of like burlesque carnival opera, just like loud mix of colors.
I think one thing that Roan does that and this is one thing I really respect about her, is that her costuming, she can perform in it.
Yeah, and it's usually like there's layers, so you can come out looking a certain way, and then you rip off one piece, and then she can kick her legs and she can dance around. Yeah, so it's she has a great stylist, so definitely understand.
100%. 100%. Bill, you got one you want to contribute?
I got a question, Sam. So we were talking a lot about like your influence, like the artists that you look to and that you look to for your own inspiration. But I want to ask, like, what went into crafting the kind of visual style and identity of Bara Hari? Where did she come from?
And then I also want to follow I want to follow up on that a little bit here, is this kind of question of, because I feel like you portray different character or different kind of like you present very different styles in your album cover, your different videos. It's very diverse, which I really like, and I'm like, who's Sam going to be today? Like,
yes,
but like, and even your dance moves and the way you present, and you like the way you sing, even like the way you kind of force it out, or it's much more subtle or whatever. So yeah, I think this is a really interesting element. Is where are you getting all this from?
I joke, but it's not really a joke. I'm a failed theater kid. Like I tried to get into theater when I was in high school, but I was so fucking shy that it was useless. Like there was no way I was gonna be involved in theater. Like I did, funny enough though, get involved in improv comedy. So that is what I did. But I really wanted to be in theater. And I don't know, I just like the idea of putting on a costume and makeup and turning into somebody else was always super appealing to me, but I didn't know where to put it. You know what I mean? Because it makes sense when you're an actor and you get all done up and you're doing it for a role. But if you're just a person that's just like, I mean, I incorporate it into my daily life as well. Like whatever, every day is a different character. But I felt like that it would be the perfect outlet is to start a music project. So that's where that all came from, because I figured like every song thematically is different, and I always try to put like a visual element into my lyrics as well. And I feel like that's where the idea for the music videos comes from, because I'm basically writing the script into the song. And I also just really love movies. Like I really love movies that are done well and they're just like so immersive in whatever world that they're creating.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? God, that's such a hard question.
Hey, that was on the pre-approved questions, man. She's gonna drop the call here in a second. Just storm out of the interview, Bill.
Oh, dang it! I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. I forgot.
I mean, I love all sorts of movies. Like I guess my number one comfort movie is Labyrinth.
Oh,
Absolutely
classic! Yeah, great costuming.
Yeah, great costuming. Great like production design. It's great. It's whimsical. It's scary. It's everything. I love Amadeus. That's amazing.
Great costuming too. These are hitters.
Yeah, great costuming. Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Great costuming.
Great costuming.
There's a theme here.
I'm sensing a theme. Yeah, there's
Kill
a
Bill.
I love motif.
Yeah, Tarantino movies, very, very immersive.
You did like a Kill Bill tribute in one of your videos, right? You had like which is a tribute ultimately to like Bruce Lee, but like it goes back.
I know, right? So yeah, it's Tarantino, copying somebody else's homework but doing it his
That was
way.
the video for Weapon?
Yeah.
Makes
So that was
sense.
extremely low budget. That was shot, I think, in 2020. Like everybody was still locked. It was just me and Ian was shooting it on his phone. Like that's it. That's all it is.
That's you'll hear us talk often about one of our favorite movies, which is the original Terminator.
Yes.
And how that was shot on like basically on the streets, like ad hoc in LA and everything. And it's like amazing.
Was it really?
Yeah, they shot that illegally. That was not.
Oh, it was like guerrilla style shooting.
Yeah, they did not have license to shoot in a lot of the places they shot in LA.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and
got away with it.
And they made a fucking great movie.
And now that story is coming true.
Yeah. But I was thinking there has been some artists I thought about too. The metal scene does this a bit too, and like the one that gets pointed to a lot is King Diamond.
Yes.
Merciful Fate King Diamond. If you've never been to a King Diamond show, it is. Have you ever seen King Diamond live? Either one of you?
Mm-mm.
No.
It is a production. There are multiple stages. Like there's like stages going up, so you can go upstairs in the mansion if he's in the mansion that time, or if it's like a graveyard. It's trippy.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
And then the wildest thing was he comes out singing, he's doing things, and he's kind of like he's the way he's dressed. He's not like a character in the story. He's kind of the narrator.
Oh.
He kind of haunts but he has other actors come on and play the roles on stage. Some of them sing, some of them don't, but he's kind of the haunting force, like singing next to them.
Yeah.
It's the Phantom of the Opera.
It's kind of Phantom of the Opera, yeah. And the one thing that they did that blew my mind, the first time I ever saw him live, was there's a part where like the song cuts out and the whole stage goes black, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, there's an entirely different backdrop on the stage when it comes back. Like we're talking like a massive, massive, full blown stage backdrop. But they drop it immediately. Like it's unreal, the production of it. And when he sings, when he goes, "Grandma," like they bring like there's like a person in the old person mask in a wheelchair, and like there's let me help you off this chair. Let me help you
look into this.
Dude, King Diamond is dope live. Like it is a production. Yeah, I don't know if you know, but his microphone, it had like a giant femur attached to it. That was a real human femur.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's legit. And now he lives in Texas.
Oh my god.
But that was one I was thinking about a lot. And there's been a history of like trying to, I don't say like you kind of have the different perspective. With King Diamond, you have, he looks this way on the album covers, he looks this way in the promo shots, he looks this way on stage. But you have other people that kind of do the stuff on stage. Bill and I, for better or for worse, we've talked about Ghost. Ghost does that. I'll give them that they keep the costuming across promos, albums, and then the tour. I have a lot of respect for that. But like, one of my questions I wanted to ask you, Sam, was what is it to go into like costuming for stage? I mean, to actually perform in this live. It's one thing to wear like, this, like House of the Devil, you wear this like very tight fitting red dress. I can't imagine you'd want to stay on stage performing.
No,
like,
I could
I don't know your personal preferences, but that seems rough.
Yeah, and it also had an extremely long skirt because I wanted it to waterfall down the steps. So it was like extremely long skirt. I couldn't move my arms up or down because it like had these sleeves that fell off my shoulders, and so I was like constricted to move my arms that far. So that's definitely a look that looks great on camera, but doesn't work for this stage. So yeah, there are elements to think about. You also have to think about like mic packs and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, got to be able to move.
What goes into your kind of approach then when you do perform live, like in as Bara Hari? Like what kind of like I mean, what do you do there?
Well, I haven't performed live that many times, so I am still working on that. But the first show that I ever did, I did design a dress for myself that was very much along the lines of like Florence Welch, Stevie Nicks, so just like this sheer black lace that had very flowy sleeves and like a very twirly skirt because I just wanted to twirl around on stage. So
the Nixian aesthetic.
The Nixian.
The Nixian aesthetic, yeah.
I think that's our phrase. That's going to be our word of the day here. Nixian aesthetics.
The Nixian vibe.
I feel like I could write if I saw a paper with that on, that's an academic paper surely about the
that could be a whole podcast topic.
That could be a whole podcast.
Yeah, it could.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
It's interesting because talking about Stevie Nicks and going back to like that kind of era. The one that what also kind of spawned this conversation was there was an anniversary post on Instagram from the folks of Heart showing off the behind the scenes of Little Queen, the album shoot for Little Queen. I love that album cover. So if you love Ren Fairs and you like rock music, have I got the album cover for you?
Is that the one with the caravan in the back?
There's the caravan in the back. Yeah. It's got this kind of like Romani kind of like but traveling band of people going with it. And it's such an interesting album cover because it's such a shot difference from the previous album cover, which is like here's like the band members' heads, and you got the title. It's very white with the heart, makes a lot of sense. It delivers what it promises. But then Little Queen, like there's all these props in it, and like there's so much detail in that album cover. Like you can look at the album cover for hours. I have.
Yeah, and I have some of those photos saved on my Pinterest.
But it's and it gives you that kind of a fair vibe. Like, okay, I'm going to go into this, and then you get tracks on that album, like the Archer's Dream, which like that is like that's how that picture sounds to me now.
Yeah.
And so I'm always really curious about how artists approach like what is this going to sound like? I mean, we were talking about earlier, like, hey, here's some fan art of Elden Ring and my album about Elden Ring. like there's that, but like that's kind of easy to pull off. Versus like we're going to costume up, we're going to present the artist, but we're going to present them in a way to kind of get you into the vibe. And I've seen, I think Chapel Rowan did this certainly with her album, where you kind of have like the behind the scenes like of like this kind of like person essentially dolled up to go look like they're going to go out on stage, but they're not quite on stage yet. And I think that's a really interesting kind of approach to this is like we're going to give you this album cover to get you going that way. So that brings me to my next question is I want to talk about the album cover for Lesser Gods. Yes. So now, do you mind if I give you my 2 cents before I ask you about this more?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So it's got like it's like it's ancient Greek style. I'm guessing it's kind of this quasi toga. You got the pillar. I don't know how you stood on that pillar. That
got little feet.
You got little feet. You clearly.
Oh my God.
You were clearly balancing yourself here too.
Yeah, I was.
And I like how this image is really interesting to me because I can tell like this. I'm not. This was done on a budget.
Yeah.
And it looks fucking dope.
It's very good.
Sometimes things on a budget look better than things that have an endless budget and no like creative constraints. You know what I mean?
So you're describing Ghost. Sorry.
You can't say that, John. You can't say that. No.
Hey, I didn't say.
Do I need to edit that out, Bill?
No. We keep it.
Fair. Keep that as
live.
Okay.
We're gonna get the Ghost fans just
Hey, you know what, man? You know what? They want to leave a comment on this? Feel free to.
Oh God! No, you can't do that. You can't egg people on, John. We've talked about this.
Is that? I didn't realize that was a rule of the internet.
Oh God, do I know the rules of?
But I love this. No, I love like one. I also love that you have it's blue. There's basically there's 2 colors in this thing. There's blue and then there's you.
Yes.
It's very blue.
And so you jump out and you have like great shades of blue. Fun fact, did you know that the ancient Greeks had no word for the color blue?
What?
I did not know that.
They had the light, the dark, and purple. They didn't really have a blue. Yeah. Huh. They would have called some of these colors light, and they would have called some of these colors purple.
Huh.
Interesting.
Wow, that is interesting.
Oh yeah, the history of color and language is really fascinating. But so
Mhm.
that's what's kind of fun about this. So that's another depth. Congratulations, you're a genius. You didn't know.
Wow, I created a color.
You created a
Well, I
color.
mean,
But
yeah.
I love like the water aesthetic out of the bowl, like the kind of ever flowing bowl. I mean, it's clearly like you kind of have this flow of like I don't know, like streamers, or you want to call them,
It's
coming out of the
Mylar.
bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mylar.
Mhm.
And I just like that in great pose.
Hmm.
I love this album cover. I guess the only other color would, but even then, it's lit a little bit blue is the pillar you're on at the bottom. Like
Mhm.
but that's just kind of like reflective of the blue around it.
Yeah.
Um,
So
so did
that album cover was inspired by so I really love pre-Raphaelite art.
Mhm.
And John William Waterhouse is one of the most famous slash one of my favorite painters. And he has a few paintings depicting Greek goddesses. And I really liked the one depicting Circe. So
Mm.
she's
Oh.
holding a bowl of water and it's spilling out into a river. So you've probably seen that painting.
Mhm.
And it's illuminated green a little bit in that depiction, which is why other photos in the series of my photo album or of my album art have like a green light reflected on it. So I
Mhm.
wanted to do my basically budget version because I knew I wasn't going to have access to like a river and like all of this stuff. So I hit up my friend Yvette, who's this very amazing photographer based in LA. And I felt like her idea to use Mylar, since it's a reflective surface,
Mm.
was really cool because in my video for Tempest, I made those cardboard waves that
Yeah, I love that. I
Yes.
love that.
and I
It's so
very
good.
thank you. I love the tactile feeling of like this is made out of cardboard. It's very like almost kindergarten class. Like, you know,
Arts
it's
and crafts.
exploring, yeah, it's arts and crafts and it's like exploring your imagination. And it's using the things around you that you have access to create this world. Have you ever seen The Science of Sleep?
I
Sounds
have
You
not.
familiar.
that movie? Well, it's a movie with by Michel Gondry, a French
Hmm.
movie, but it has English speakers in it. Gael Garcia Bernal is the main guy, and it's basically about like the blurring between dreams and real life.
Mm.
And in it, there's this scene where Charlotte Gainsbourg makes these clouds out of cotton balls,
Mhm.
basically, and then she like
Hmm.
grabs one and throws it in the air, and it just stays there. And then
Oh.
there's Mylar water that comes out of it, and so it just feels very like that. Like it feels like a child's imagination, and I've
Mm.
always loved that because it feels very intentional and like humans made it versus a computer.
Correct.
So when she had that idea, I was like, perfect, love it. Like, yeah, and then it's budget. But you know, at the same time, even if I had a budget, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's so clearly this is obviously a very modern problem, but it's so clearly not computer generated. And I think
Yes.
absolutely for its own benefit. Like it looks great. And I feel like
Yeah.
I'm sure it would look good if it was computer generated, but it wouldn't have the soul and it wouldn't have the kind of the human element,
Yeah.
right? If
Yeah.
it didn't look the way it does. And I love that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, and for the back cover, we used the same clouds and waves that I painted on cardboard. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
yeah, it's just like big pieces of cardboard that my neighbor threw out after he got some furniture, and I was like, "Can I have those?" Really
Yeah.
weird question, but can I have that? And then so I created those out of that with cheap tempera paint. So
Oh, temporary.
yeah,
That's a good way to do it.
yeah, cheap tempera paint. So yeah, I'm definitely very much against AI, and I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like a lot
Mm.
of people are leaning into just like using that because they're on a budget. But I'm like, you can
Yeah.
be on a budget and still make things that are cool.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. As I do a lot of miniature painting and miniature terrain, and like you kind of find stuff ad hoc that works really well to make it look this
Yeah.
way. We used to make like like the cement barricades, like the military you see like in warfare. We'd make those out
Mhm.
of like egg cartons.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can make so many things out of tinfoil too.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I
yeah.
had a costume when I was in fourth grade. We made a robot costume for myself, and we got some boxes that could go over my arms, my chest, and my head, and then we just wrapped it in tinfoil.
Yeah,
Nice.
easy.
You know, sounds
Yeah,
robot.
I don't know. Maybe like it's dorky or whatever, but I'm like, I would rather see a tin foil armor
Mhm.
rather than somebody like CGI or like a completely digital version of
Yeah.
armor or something.
Oh,
I don't know. Like,
absolutely.
100%.
yeah, I like things to look like they were made by human hands.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, it gives them that depth. It really
Yeah.
does. And I
There
think
is-
that's.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna say it is so obvious when armor is designed by AI,
Yeah.
and
Oh
it's
my
Yeah.
God.
gross. I could
Yeah.
go on for hours.
I could too.
It's
I could go
just
on a rant
terrible.
about
It
AI.
doesn't make sense. Yeah, no, me too.
It's bad. It's not
Yeah,
good at what it
it's
does.
bad.
Fuck AI.
Fuck AI.
There you go. But yeah, I love like when I listen to mostly vinyl, and so that's why I like having the kind of artist on the cover with like you can kind of stare at it and get the whole like aesthetic of it and be brought into the storyline here. So then I guess part of my question too is, and this also goes with the title of your album too, like Lesser Gods this is like it's a very Greek goddess type pose and positioning and such like that too. So it works on a lot of levels here. Um, Bill, no, yeah, we didn't get to hear from you, man. What's like a favorite like kind of costume of a musician that's kind of brought you into with them and everything?
That's a really good question. I mean, I think my first real like introduction to costuming on stage that's like a really kind of bombastic kind of like it's a costume, right? And I mean, unfortunately, it was Ghost, right?
Oh, sure.
And that's the first time I really saw that aesthetic.
Mhm.
And then I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then obviously seeing King Diamond and like now actually God, mentioning Sleep Token again.
You can mention it's dude, just don't make me listen to them. We're okay.
Yeah, no, it's good. We're fine. I think they do such a great job with their visual aesthetic.
I actually have to look them up. Sleep Token is one of those bands that I've heard a lot about, but I know zero about them. So okay, I see it now.
Have you ever
very Ghost.
Sam? Have you ever listened to the Oliver album, Flowers of Evil or Assassination of Julius Caesar?
No.
Okay, well you should because those are good versions of what Sleep Token wants to do.
Oh my God, you're gonna get people so fucking mad at us, John. No, Sleep Token have this visual style.
They do have a great visual style.
Very similar to Ghost, where you have the anonymous, semi-anonymous front man who's got this wild getup, and then the musicians behind them are. He
looks like something out of like a Guillermo del Toro movie.
I was going to say it looks like if Guillermo del Toro created like a Elden Ring style video game.
Yeah.
It's like
so inspired by that.
The guy from Pan's Labyrinth. What is it called?
It
like
literally
Flesh
looks
Man or something?
almost like the hands how they go on the eyes.
Yeah.
It almost looks like that, but upside down.
Yeah, it does.
Actually, I'll tell you who it reminds me of. It reminds me of MF Doom.
Yes, it's very Doom. It's very
you want to talk about someone like that? I didn't even think about that one, but MF Doom. I mean, with the mask he always wore. I mean, he wore whatever. He was just wearing t-shirts and jerseys or whatever it is. And he's rapping when he's on performance. But the mask was
it.
And that's all the costuming he needed was just to brand it. So I think that's the thing about costuming is like it can be, it can certainly be like I want to convey the story to you, but it can also straight up be branding. Or even, and I think in Doom,
like Daft Punk,
yeah. And with Doom, it was a political statement in that, like he's like, like I'm the villain now.
I am the villain,
yeah. Like he's like, the record labels fucked me over, so fuck them. I'm the villain, and I'm gonna wear a mask because I don't want anyone looking at me. So like, he's got a trippy story. Doom's numerous names. He's got like 5 different names he rapped under.
Oh, really?
Like Victor Vaughn, and then there was like just straight Doom, Metal Fingers.
Metal Fingers.
Yeah, MF,
I see.
Yeah. There's a lot. It's a really interesting aesthetic. He's got kind of like and all the characters, what's funny is all those characters that he creates, those different names, all kind of know about each other and kind of fight each other.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's just
so interesting.
Dr. Doom, like
he took
Dr. Doom, and he's like, that's mine now. Like that's my thing. That's it. I'm gonna wear the mask, and that's it. Like
no, he basically he had a band with his brother, and they kind of fucked him over. I think his brother passed away, and he was like, "Fuck the record corporations, they all fucked us over." So now I'm the villain. And that's how he identifies
That
himself.
happens a lot.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's great. But I think I love the kind of idea of the branding here. And I never looked at Sleep Token stuff, and because I just watched I like listened to like I saw the visual album they did,
Yeah.
which is very like if you haven't seen it, it's very just like a scene. Usually like a tapestry burning is what's going on in it, and like it's just kind of a scene, but it creates an aesthetic. But it's not costuming because it is CGI, but it's just like an image to look at.
Yeah.
Versus like seeing their live stuff here is really interesting, actually. So I'm kind of digging
new
that.
Sleep Token live, like the set that they have on the stage, it's like pictures and videos are just coming out now, and it is impressive. They have built an entire like grotto and
I've seen this is really cool.
Waterfall and like this great pink lighting with the flowers.
I'll put an image in the chat for you there, Sam.
Yeah.
You can click that and you can see what it looks like. That actually is fucking impressive.
It's incredibly impressive.
Oh, wow.
That's like, were they fucking playing at Disneyland? What the fuck is going on?
What?
Oh, yeah.
Is this Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah, Disney's like, hey, Disney, how much is it to rent Pirates of the Caribbean and take it with us everywhere across the country?
I know. Oh man, that would be. I always think about that with bands that have like humongous stage setups, where like the amount of trucks that they have to take across the country because they're just full of set pieces is insane.
Oh, look at Iron Maiden. Them motherfuckers got like a caravan.
They have the caravan. They have a whole plane.
Yeah, they got planes. I mean, it's wild how much some of these bands like really tote around. I mean, but if you got the money, and you can pull it off, and Maiden can do that. But yeah, this is impressive for the Sleep Token's big. They're not Iron Maiden big, but they're big. So they got a budget here to pull around. But I'd love to, and that'd be a fascinating thing to kind of look at the aesthetics of it too, or the logistics of how to actually move something like this around. And I assume they have a.
I would not like to be tour manager for that.
I was going to say, I assume they have a
fleet.
Tour. I assume they have a tour manager that's competent here.
I assume they have a tour manager that's like hooked up to a computer and like constantly on like so many cups of coffee. Like
I know,
absolute masochist.
Yes.
No, that's really impressive. Yeah. Okay. They got okay. All right, Bill. You got me to respect this band a little bit more.
There we go.
It's hard task,
thing
sir.
You know, you're come to me like, oh man, I really like the early stuff. I really liked Jericho.
No, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. I'm gonna hold out.
Now you say that now.
All right. So that's like what's something else like to think about with costuming here too, Sam? So we're outside of that. Like we don't do the costuming. What's something that like us as fans aren't really thinking about an artist when they do costuming in any regard? Like what's something that like you wish the fans knew more about when you costume? And that's one thing I've actually really liked about you is you've been very like open that you're making this costume for this purpose. You've been showing that on TikTok, on Instagram, on the socials as it would be. And I like that kind of behind the scenes element. What's something you really want the people out there to know about that kind of work?
I think that, well, like with me, it's pretty transparent because I'm not like a huge pop star or anything. Like I make my own stuff and I tell you about it. But I guess as somebody who one of my side hustles, as you know, I'm a gig worker, so it's just kind of like I take on odd jobs. But one of my odd jobs is I actually help a very well-known fashion designer. So I'm an assistant seamstress for an established fashion designer named Michelle Hebert. I love her. She's awesome. one of my close friends now. And we do a lot of work for very big names. So like one of the last jobs that we did last year was for Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we work for Megan Thee Stallion, Kali Uchis, if you've heard of her.
I love Kali Uchis.
Yeah, so the dress that she is wearing on her latest album cover was made by Michelle and all of us. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I guess something that I wish people were more aware of was crediting. I don't feel like people get credited for their work properly. And some people, it's not their fault, but they feel like it just kind of came from a store or like drop the link, where's it from? Or manifested out of thin air. So I feel like there isn't enough credit for fashion designers or costume designers because they play such a huge role in the creation of a certain atmosphere. Chappell Roan is very good about crediting the people.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And I really appreciate that, because a lot of the bigger name artists, I won't say who, they will not even tag the designer. And it's crazy because those will be custom pieces that are commissioned from a specific person to, wear in a photo shoot or a video shoot or whatever, and there isn't credit. So there's so much tireless work that goes into meeting a deadline like that, because usually the deadlines are insane. It'll be like, we need 3 pieces in a week. So it'll be like from conception to getting the materials, to pattern making, to construction, to finalizing and delivery. It'll sometimes be like, we need 3 pieces in a week. And so it's like, they do get paid, but it would be nice to be credited for your work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not a crazy ask.
It shouldn't know. I know. So I guess that's one of my major gripes. I'm like, give credit where credit's due, damn it. So yeah, I mean, I don't have to credit anyone because I just make it myself.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. Yeah. That's the beauty of
it. You've worked for these other artists. I gotta know, what was your favorite project that you've worked on?
I have to say the nocturnal look for Mosca. Yeah.
Oh, it's
that was my
good.
favorite look, because I basically had free reign to design it. Like she trusted my vision.
Oh, that's always the best.
Yeah, and I like some of my favorite costumes are from Crimson Peak, from Guillermo del Toro's Crimson Peak. And like she wanted a dark moth look, and I just really wanted to make like a Victorian style collar. That kind of looked like it was just like encompassing her entire neck and shoulder area. So that's one of my favorite pieces that I've made. This like hand ruched, like it had all these tiny little layers that I hand gathered and distressed to make this like Victorian moth looking collar. And then they got a lot of screen time. So I mean, I'm pretty proud of that job. And then also like the dress that I helped make for Megan Thee Stallion was incredible because we made it in 2.5 days.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely unhinged.
Oh
all pretty much all hands on. So yeah, that one was cool because it got its own photo shoot, and like our group chat just like exploded. We were so excited. We're like, oh my god,
awesome.
it got its own photo shoot. Like, so we got all these beautiful like professional photos taken of work that we all did together. So those are I'm trying to think like what else we made. Those are the 2 that stand out.
Well, so those 2 stand out. Like, so what is the challenge of like, I mean, it sounds like they had a vision and then like you want to meet the vision, but what's the challenge of the kind of point A to point B? I mean, obviously making it to you, but like, has there been any specific challenges in making it that were like, how do I do this, or trying to learn on the job essentially, or trying to like, update your skill set or something like that, or how to expand yourself or challenge yourself somehow?
I think the challenge is like I don't really usually take work that's like long distance. So because I'm somebody that like fit is a very important thing to me. So if like it doesn't fit you, if I can't do fittings with you, then I'm probably going to turn down the job. Unless it's like a free flowing garment or something, you know what I mean? So I think that's like the number one challenge is like getting the fit right, and then just like that worry that like, okay, well, I left it to you to measure yourself, and maybe you don't know how to measure things absolutely properly, or you're doing vanity sizing or something. So it's always like, that's the thing that makes you sweat the most, where you're just like, I'm doing all of this work, and if it doesn't fit you, I have to rip it apart and do it all over again, or you just have to safety pin things together or something. I don't know.
Dangerous game to play.
Yeah.
100%. Well, look, this was, I really enjoyed talking today with you, Sam. I hope this was insight. Does this give you any kind of insights or kind of thoughts, or make you reflect on this at all?
Well, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah. It makes me, I liked hearing your perspective, I guess.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just like milling around in here all the time, just like thinking everything I do sucks and it doesn't mean anything. And so it's nice to hear from an outsider perspective that you understood what I was going for and that it resonated.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. I studied for the test.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
yeah, I think it's important for us to pay attention to this stuff. I think that's kind of one of the ideas of this podcast is trying to get people to pay attention to more things besides just being so focused on like I like loud banging guitar and drums. Like there's so much more going on around everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing I really like about when bands really take the time to create that kind of aesthetic, and you go through and think, okay, what goes into the technical elements of this? I talk a lot, you know, what this sounds good. This is good produced music, but it's also a good produced album cover. It's a good produced live show. There's a lot more that goes on than just like the music to give the whole experience. And I have a lot of respect for people that want to make it an experience, a broader experience versus just like, as you mentioned, I think you said like you really like doing costuming, but you're looking for an outlet for costuming. And you're like, hey, here's music, and like let me go and output that way. There's music too, and you can. I think that's really cool about you is people can get sucked in by like the cool costuming, or they can get sucked in by some cool jams, and then like whichever one they grab onto. They latch onto that, and then they can find their way through and kind of expand it, and that's a really good a good approach to any kind of experiencing any kind of art. Is just like, what's that one little thing you like, and then using that to latch onto and then branch out will take you very, very far as a appreciator of any kind of artwork. So sorry, I didn't mean to go on my little diatribe there.
No, it's true.
Multifaceted is that's what you want, right?
Yeah, and I always tried to keep both of my I guess personas separate, but like in the last year I've decided to kind of just like meld them together because it's just like one gives way to the other so much.
Yeah.
So that's why I do like my little making of, or like I really like historical costuming, so I like teaching people about that as well.
I got two words for everyone out there: princess hat.
Yes.
Princess hat. Oh man, that thing went so viral.
God, that's so good though. Like your princess hats are so good.
Thank you.
And like I went to Renfrew last weekend and I didn't see anything like that. But if I saw someone roaming around with that, I'd be like, hey, can I get a photo with you?
Yeah.
I want to see that. I'd love to see this up close.
Hey, that rocks.
That rocks. Yeah. It and those little. And it's those little things, like I said, you can latch onto that little thing you saw. It's kind of cool. It kind of has that pop and sizzle, and then you latch onto that, and then you can have a bigger experience, whether that is talking to someone, appreciating their work, and all this kind of stuff. So I think that's what I want. That's what I want to do here, and why it's such a cool topic. All right. Well, Sam, tell people again, real quick, where can we find you online?
I'm most active, I would say, on Instagram or TikTok. You can find me at Bara Hari. So go find me there. I am on other socials like Facebook and whatnot, but I don't use them that much. So go where there's visual elements involved.
Yeah. Please go to the Bara Hari Bandcamp, purchase an album.
Yes.
That too.
Bandcamp. Hey, everyone's like Bandcamp's a great way to support artists, and it's one of my favorite sites out there. I get about 30 emails from Bandcamp a day now, and then a Bandcamp Friday is a nightmare for my email box.
Oh my god, yeah, and your social media.
It's kind of wild, but please go look up artists and go take a look at them, and just go support people however you can, man. Watch a video, send a like, leave a comment. But hey, you like costume you're wearing at 3 minutes and 30 seconds? Awesome. That's all you gotta say.
Yes, please.
All right.
Comments.
Exactly. Sam, this was so much fun. And thank you so much for coming and joining us today here on More Than Metal.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, everyone. We'll see you next time. Have a good one. Later.
Thank you. Later.
Bye.